Graham, are you any good news on the team news front? Because you've had enough bad news for a whole season, I think.
Like I say, not a lot will change. It's again, we'll have a couple of young lads with us tomorrow, but hopefully, fingers crossed, I might be able to get 6 or 7 subs on the bench tomorrow. So, that'll be a plus sign. And like I say, this period won't and it can't and it shan't last forever. We'll come through it, and we'll get some positivity out of it, whether that be good or bad. But we'll get something out of it. We'll learn from it, and we'll move on. But like I say, I ain't going to. I'm the manager of this football club. I ain't going to hide behind injuries, and I ain't going to hide behind the bad luck and the decisions that's going against us. That'll be an excuse culture, and we haven't got an excuse culture here. So if we have injuries, we have them. If we get bad decisions, we get bad decisions. So those are things that they're factors, but look, they're not excuses, and I don't want them to be excuses, and I don't want anybody to hide behind them factors.
Do you learn a lot about the resilience of your players at times where your squad is really stretched?
Oh yeah, and like I say, and I said it to the lads this week, the opportunity and the chances that you've been given is there to be taken, and if you can't step up to the plate and you can't take them opportunities and them chances to nail down a regular first team place, or to nail down a consistent berth in the team, well then don't come to me knocking on my door, or don't go whinging to whoever you're going to go whinge to if you're not on the team, if in January we can get 1 or 2 players in, or when 1 or 2 players come back fit. So the ball was in the players' courts. They had the opportunity to stay in the team. They had the opportunity to nail down a place, and they probably still have. And it's not done for 1 or 2 of them yet. But I'm asking them to step up to the plate. I'm asking them to take these opportunities, take these chances. Because like I've said, and I've been consistent, one man's misfortune is another man's fortune. So you've got to make hay while the sun is shining. And look, 1 or 2 have, 1 or 2 haven't.
What did you make of the performance at Field Mill? Obviously, Mansfield at the moment, just about the hardest place to go in the whole country.
Well, like I say, I don't think I've changed my mind from last Saturday. I thought, there was some decisions that went against us. Some of them were very, very questionable, really, to be quite honest. But look, at the end of the day, our second half performance was a lot stronger than our first. I would have likened to see us pick up a goal at some stage in the second half, because I think the game might have been different, and I think we might have got something out of it. But as I said at the time, you can't make the mistakes we're making, and that's been a story that I've set in front of you guys many a time, trying to defend my team, my players, and things like that. We're just making too many basic elementary errors, and until we cut that out, we will continue to be coming in in a bad humour or a bad mood and frustration and things like that. We went through a little period of 4, 5, 6 games there last couple of games pre Mansfield where we weren't making mistakes, but yet we were getting punished. But look, you can't keep making mistakes the way we make mistakes, and if you do, you expect to be punished. So it was frustrating. We did compete, and we did have a much stronger performance in the second half. Whether that was the introduction of James Clark or Seb Palmer-Holden coming onto the pitch, that's subjective. But we were stronger in the second half. But I want that for 90 minutes, not 45.
What are you expecting this weekend from Stockport?
Well, I think Stockport will get a lot of attention before the game. Hopefully not after, but before the game they'll certainly get a lot of attention, because fair play to them. They're on a great run. They're a real club with an upward trajectory over the last 2 seasons. They've done ever so well, so fair play to them. They've been back. Their facilities are second to none. Their players, the size of their squad, all those nice things that they have, and they deserve their accolades. They deserve their rewards and their attention that they're getting. It's going to be a really, really difficult game. It will be a game where we'll see less of the ball than our opponents. It will be a game similar to Notts County, similar to MK Dons. That type of possession football, the way they move it through the zones. But Stockport are slightly different to MK Dons and Notts County. They do have a really, really good threat, aerial threat in Kyle Wootton up front, so they can move the ball down the sides and cross it. They can go direct, So they've got a really nice blend where they can mix their game up. But I'm expecting our boys to relish the challenge, to enjoy it. I'm expecting a really big crowd in tomorrow with Stockport bringing numbers. Obviously, they can make a club or an EFL record tomorrow. So it's going to be really difficult. It's going to be really difficult. A lot of things have got to go in our favour. We've got to first and foremost turn up. We've got to make sure we're at it, and we've got to make sure we're on top form, on top of our game, if we're to get anything out of the game.
Just one final one from me. Obviously, difficult challenge ahead. It was at the weekend. You're playing with not a full strength squad, to say the least. Is it difficult for you to keep the atmosphere, I don't know if you even want to, keep the atmosphere light and keep the players kind of trying to make sure they're still smiling, or are you more of a manager that when the results are going against you, you don't really want to see smiles anyway?
Well, I wasn't smiling last weekend, that's for sure. I had a birthday weekend, and obviously they're non-existent in our house at this moment in time over the last 12 months really. Birthday weekends and celebrations and smiles and things like that. I don't really. Last weekend I've lost a game of football, and let's be right. That's where I'm judged. I'll be judged on football. I'll judge myself on it. Nobody needs to judge me or tell me good enough or not good enough. I'll judge myself on results. And at this moment in time, I'm not producing enough good results. Yes, I'll protect the players when it comes to that. But by no means will I come into the change room and start patting a group of lads on the back for errors, for mistakes, for mediocre performances. I protect them. I've gone to war many a time with this man sitting in front of me, Chris Clear, when we've had many a battle and many a debate. I'll protect my players. I'll protect my football club. I'll protect my fan base, because that's my job, and I'm expected to do that. But I won't go about smiling, and I won't go about putting arms around players that are not. They'll be told, and they get told. Now some will like that, and some won't. Some will want to be managed in a different way. But like I say, we've got to first and foremost cut out daft and silly mistakes. That needs to be cut out. Yes, I get inexperience, I get naive, I get young players, I get all that, but they've got to learn quick. And it's not nice. It's not nice sat in my seat or in my shoes at this moment in time when you're not successful. Because I had a vision last year when we finished. We were kicking the ball 10 seconds away from finishing 12th in the league, and I had a vision and I had a plan, and I needed 3 or 4 players at the start of the season to push this football club on, and all that's gone out of the window. So starting again, rebuilding. But at this moment in time, we need consistency. We need better in the final third. We need more quality on the pitch. We need better decision making, and we need to cut mistakes out. So I ain't going to get that off the lads if I go walk in the change room, smile and laugh and joke and be all this with them. They need to know where they're going, what they're doing well, and they need to know what they're doing wrong. And we've been fairly consistent with our messages with them over the season. The process doesn't change with results, but yes, my mood and my humour does, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Thank you, Graham.
With Seb being back, how useful is that for you to be able to rotate the front players and also have someone on the bench who you can bring on and really energise things?
Yeah, it's great. Look, it's great to have another player back and to have a fresh face. It's great to be able to add to our numbers. Was it 3-4 numbers on the bench? So it's great to be able to go 4 or 5. So that's a real plus point. Seb gives us a real energy. But again, look, we've got to manage him correctly. We've obviously liaised with Bristol City as to what he's doing and what he's not doing, what he needs, what he doesn't need. So that'll take its path, that'll take its course over a couple of weeks. So it'll probably be the same with James Clark, who came on the pitch last week. These players have to be managed, and as you've seen with other players, we have to manage them in games. So giving them game time here and there. Yes, getting settled, getting continuity, getting a consistency is probably non-existent at this moment in time, but that's what we're striving for. But yeah, it's a big lift. It's a big lift to have another senior player come in and come onto the training ground and come into the matchday squad. Big lift.
So not quite ready to start quite yet, do you think, or is it? Is he starting to be? Well, is it in your thinking?
Oh, look, I'd love to throw him in. I'd love to start him, but then again, it's you got to then take off. So you know, it's match minutes he's after. So at this moment in time, he's probably up to around 45 match minutes, 50 match minutes. So do you put them on, take them off, or do you bring them on to strengthen yourself later on, or strengthen them at the start? So there's a little bit of rolling the dice there. And again, look, he needs a few weeks before we can actually declare him fully fit, really. So it's how we manage him, and it's where we feel we can get the best out of him. So look, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. If you put him on from the start and we weaken the team by taking him off, or we put him on later on and we weaken the team from the off, I'm damned if I do. So look, there's 4 lads there who are trying to get up to speed: Omar, Will, Caban and Seb, and they'll compete for 2 places in the team. And when they're all up to speed, Caban again is coming back from injury as well. So we need to manage the players, manage them as best we can, and get the best out of them.
That's another 3 games in 8 days spell as well, which I know you've got to think of tomorrow first and foremost, but you have got to be mindful as well, haven't you?
Yeah, but game time will be there for them. So there is game time there for them, and they will get game time. And hopefully by the end of those 8 days, as you quite rightly said, hopefully by the end of that 8-day period, we will have them all. The 3 of them, Clarky, Caban and Seb, hopefully we'll have them all up to speed with match minutes and things like that. One note I must mention, Ollie Thomas as well, who I thought was, we thanked Bristol City obviously, just on off the top of my head, he's obviously gone back to Bristol, as per agreement. When Seb came back, he covered Seb, and when Seb came back, then Ollie was to go back. But we obviously thank Bristol City for that, and we thank Ollie for his time.
Will he be able to go back to Yeovil, or
I think he can go back to Yeovil. Yeah, he can go back. He'll go back to Bristol City first and foremost, and how they manage him from there, I don't know whether he goes out to Yeovil or whether they keep him in house. But like I said, they were first class. When Seb picked up the injury, Bristol City, they were brilliant for us. They suggested the idea of Ollie covering Seb, and when Seb got back fit, then they would recall him. And it's worked out exactly as per script, as they said it would, and we thanked them. We really thanked them.
Is Aaron still struggling with his back and hamstring? Is that?
Yeah, Diggers. I've got a couple of knocks, bumps and bruises from last week, obviously. So obviously Harry Charsley, Aaron Wildig. There's a couple that I don't think they'll be quite ready, but like I say, we'll go and we'll gauge them this morning. Hopefully they are, and if at this moment in time I would suggest, I don't think the medical department would be too happy, but I'd suggest if you're 75% fit, you're fit enough in my eyes. So yeah, look, again, it's assessing its day to day with Wildig, with Harry Charsley. There's 1 or 2 others carrying bumps and bruises, so we just hope that we can give them another 24 hours and they come in Saturday morning and declare themselves fit and willing and able.
As corny as it sounds, the Rodney Parade crowd can be a massive factor against someone like when you're up against the leaders like that. They can really, they will play their part, won't they, for your boys? Yeah,
I'm expecting a big crowd. We're expecting a big crowd in tomorrow. We're expecting Stockport to come in their numbers as they do. They travel well. But our fans here have been brilliant this season. And you're seeing, I think you're seeing that we talk about fans and we talk about getting you over the line and we talk about the energy that they give you. You're seeing that at home when we played MK Dons, where we needed to make substitutions but we couldn't. We didn't have the personnel. The last 10 minutes, the last 50 minutes, you're seeing, and you could visibly see 1 or 2 players were waning, were getting tired, and they needed to be taken out. But you can see the energy and feel the energy that the fans gave them. And like I said, I think I said it after the game, and I'll say it again a couple of weeks later. I think the crowd got us over the line at MK Dons. They dragged us over the line, and that's what the crowd and the players have. They have a very close, unique bond, and I think that has been something that's always been at this football club. And the crowds they do play a special part in this football club. Players come and go, but the football club and the fans will always remain. And yeah, I do believe they dragged us over the line at MK Dons, and they've kept the players going as well. In fairness to them, they've kept them going with their positivity, with their keeping the heads up, and that even coming over to them after games. The fans know the lads have given everything. They know they're doing their utmost. They know they're running through brick walls, and there's not many fan bases like that up and down the country, I have to say. So I would say we've got a unique fan base.